The stars glittered around the Earth outpost Nova 1, as if they were silently observing the fragile balance of life and technology. The station, orbiting a distant planet on the fringes of known space, was the pride of human exploration, a symbol of humanity's unyielding spirit. For years, Nova 1 had been a center for diplomacy and scientific discovery, fostering alliances with various alien species. Captain Mira Hayden, a decorated officer, stood on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the vastness before her. She had seen much in her time: first contact with alien species, tense negotiations, and the occasional skirmish. But today, something felt different. There was a subtle tension in the air. "Captain, we have an unidentified vessel approaching," reported Lieutenant Isaac Cray, the station's lead communications officer, his voice calm but carrying a note of concern. Mira straightened, her senses sharpening. "Is it one of our allies?" "Negative, ma'am. The ship design doesn't match any known profiles in the Galactic Council database." "Alert all stations. Prepare for first contact," she commanded, her tone firm. Within minutes, the station buzzed with activity. Scientists, engineers, and security officers moved swiftly to their designated posts. The tension escalated as the unknown vessel drifted closer, its shape unlike anything the crew had seen. It was massive, dwarfing even the largest ships in the Galactic Council fleet, with angular, sleek edges that shimmered unnervingly under the distant starlight. The ship came to a halt just outside the range of the station's defenses, hovering in eerie silence. "Open a communication channel," Mira ordered, her eyes fixed on the alien ship. Isaac nodded, tapping rapidly on his console. "Channel open, Captain." Mira stepped forward. "This is Captain Mira Hayden of the Earth outpost Nova 1. You are entering human-controlled space. State your intentions." There was a brief pause before the ship responded, but instead of a voice, a deep hum resonated through the station's hull. It was not a sound heard through the air. It seemed to bypass all conventional communication methods, vibrating directly through the metal and into the bones of everyone aboard. "Ma'am," Isaac said, his face paling, "I think that's their way of communicating. It's not language, it's energy." Mira frowned, her mind racing. She had never encountered anything like this before. Prepare for any hostile action, but do not engage unless provoked. Suddenly, the humming intensified and the alien ship released a burst of light. For a moment, the crew feared it was an attack. But instead, a holographic image materialized on the bridge. It depicted a tall, slender alien with translucent skin that seemed to shimmer with internal light, its eyes, deep and endless, locked onto Mira. "Humans of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice a haunting melody. "We are the Velarax. We come not as enemies, but as those who seek to understand." Mira's breath caught in her throat. The Velarax were a species long spoken of in whispers, a race thought to be little more than myth. Their technology was rumored to be centuries ahead of any known civilization, and their motives had always been shrouded in mystery. "You've traveled far," Mira responded, her voice steady despite the growing uncertainty. "What is it you seek from us?" The alien's gaze flickered, and for a moment, the shimmering light within it dimmed. "Your planet holds great significance, a force of life unique to your kind, but it is threatened by forces you do not yet comprehend." A wave of silence washed over the crew as they processed the alien's words. Mira's mind raced. What threat? Humanity had faced numerous challenges, but this was something different, something far beyond their experience. "Explain," she demanded, stepping closer to the hologram. "The force that binds life in your world, and many others, is in danger. A dark energy, long dormant, has begun to stir in the depths of the cosmos. It consumes worlds, leaving nothing but desolation in its wake, and your planet lies in its path." Isaac, standing beside her, whispered, "Captain, we've never detected anything like this." Mira nodded, her eyes narrowing. "Why are you telling us this? What do you gain from warning us?" The Velarax tilted its head, the light within its body flickering. "We are bound by the laws of balance. Our survival and yours are intertwined. If the dark energy is not stopped, all will be lost. Your world, our world, and the countless others that share the same life force. Mira stared at the hologram, feeling the weight of the moment. The idea of an unstoppable force threatening Earth was terrifying, but what choice did they have? They couldn't ignore it. "How do we stop it?" she asked, her voice firm and resolute. The alien's image shimmered. "We will provide you with the knowledge you need, but your kind must be prepared to fight. To resist this force will require every strength your species possesses: courage, ingenuity, and unity." Captain Mira Hayden felt a fire ignite within her. This was no ordinary battle. This was a fight for survival, for the very essence of what it meant to be human. She turned to her crew, her voice filled with determination. "Prepare for immediate action. We'll learn what we can from them, and then we'll show the universe what humanity is capable of." The first step toward defending Earth had begun, but none could foresee the trials ahead. The Sole Defense Fleet prepared for battle as the alien ships entered the system. Fleet Admiral Ethan Cade, a man known for his tactical genius, stood on the bridge of the flagship Indomitable Asterisk, his eyes fixed on the incoming threat. The ships, though massive, moved with an eerie grace, their sleek forms slicing through the void like knives. Cade's voice was calm but firm as he gave orders. "All ships, prepare to engage. Focus on evasive maneuvers. We don't know what kind of weapons they have, so don't present easy targets." The human fleet was outnumbered and outgunned. The alien vessels bristled with unknown technology, their energy signatures fluctuating wildly as if they were powered by something beyond human understanding. But humanity had faced impossible odds before, and each time they had survived by sheer grit, adaptability, and an unrelenting will to persevere. "Fleet ready, sir," reported Lieutenant Morales, his eyes scanning the tactical display. Cade nodded, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. "Send a final warning. If they don't respond, we engage." On the main screen, a message flashed. No response, Cade grimaced. "Weapons hot. Fire on my mark." The battle began in an instant. Streams of energy lanced out from the alien ships, striking at the human fleet with terrifying precision. But the humans were ready. Cade's fleet weaved through the barrage, returning fire with everything they had. The space around them lit up as laser beams, missiles, and kinetic projectiles streaked through the blackness, slamming into alien shields with resounding impacts. The aliens fought with cold efficiency, their ships moving in perfect unison. But the humans fought with something more. Every pilot, every crew member, knew that this was not just a battle for survival. It was a fight for their home, for the Earth and all of humanity. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the alien ships were testing the human forces, probing for weaknesses. Each time the humans adapted, the aliens changed their tactics, responding with frightening speed. But Cade had anticipated this. "Shift formation," he commanded. "Draw them in closer." The human fleet, which had been scattered in a defensive pattern, began to converge, drawing the alien ships into a tighter space. The alien ships followed, seemingly unaware of the trap being set for them. Suddenly, Cade gave the order. "Now, all ships, concentrate fire on the lead vessel." A barrage of coordinated firepower slammed into the largest alien ship. Its shields flared brightly, holding for a moment before collapsing under the relentless assault. The human missiles and lasers found their mark, tearing through the alien hull. Explosions rippled through the ship, and within moments, it was nothing more than a smoldering wreck. A cheer went up across the human fleet, but the victory was short-lived. As the alien flagship was destroyed, the remaining ships seemed to shift tactics again, becoming even more aggressive. They moved with incredible speed, closing the distance between them and the human ships. "They're retaliating," Morales said, his voice tight with tension. Cade gritted his teeth. "Hold the line. We're not done yet." The battle intensified, but Cade had one more trick up his sleeve. He had ordered a contingent of stealth ships to remain hidden, waiting for the right moment. Now that moment had arrived. "Stealth squadron, deploy," he ordered. From the shadow of a nearby asteroid, A squadron of human ships emerged, cloaked until now. They moved quickly, launching a surprise attack on the flanks of the alien formation. The aliens, caught off guard, scrambled to respond, but it was too late. The combined fire from the human fleet and the stealth squadron overwhelmed the alien ships one by one, as the last of the alien vessels exploded into a shower of debris. A stunned silence fell over the battlefield. "We did it," Morales whispered, his voice filled with disbelief. Cade didn't allow himself to relax. "Send out recovery teams. We need to search those wrecks. I want to know who they are and why they attacked us." As the human fleet began to regroup, the realization dawned on everyone. This battle was just the beginning. In the aftermath of the battle, the human fleet drifted amidst the wreckage of the alien ships, collecting debris and scanning for survivors. It was a hard-fought victory, but Admiral Cade knew the true war was just beginning. The aliens, whoever they were, had attacked without warning, and humanity had to find out why and prepare for what was next. On the Indomitable Asterisk, Cade stood in the operations center, studying the data coming in from the wreckage. His eyes narrowed as he scanned the alien technology. It was unlike anything humanity had encountered before, its complexity and sophistication far beyond what they had expected. "Admiral," Morales said, approaching with a tablet. "We've recovered some of their communication logs. It looks like they weren't just here to conquer. They were searching for something." Cade's brow furrowed. Searching for what? Morales handed him the tablet. "It's hard to say. The language is still being translated, but we've decoded a few key phrases. One keeps coming up. The beacon." "The beacon?" Cade repeated, his mind racing. "What is it?" "We're not sure yet," Morales admitted, "but it seems to be some kind of ancient artifact, something they believe is hidden in our system." Cade's eyes darkened. So this wasn't just an invasion. They were after something specific, something they think we have. Morales nodded. "It looks that way, sir." Cade stared at the tablet, his mind working through the implications. If the aliens were searching for this beacon, it meant they would likely return. And next time, they wouldn't just be testing humanity's defenses, they would come with full force. "Get the science team working on this," Cade ordered. "I'd want every piece of alien tech analyzed, every scrap of data decrypted. We need to find out what this beacon is before they do." As Morales left to carry out his orders, Cade turned back to the wreckage on the screen. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. The aliens had shown their hand, and now it was up to humanity to prepare for whatever came next. Weeks had passed since the first alien attack, and the Sol system was on high alert. Earth's military had ramped up its defenses, and ships patrolled every corner of the system, ready for any sign of the enemy's return. But behind the scenes, another mission was unfolding, one that was even more critical to humanity's survival. Admiral Cade had assembled a team of scientists, engineers, and historians to unravel the mystery of the beacon. Led by Dr. Sarah Levin, an expert in synorchaeology, the team had been working around the clock, poring over every piece of data recovered from the alien wreckage. "We're getting closer," Dr. Levin said, standing beside Cade in the science lab aboard the Indomitable Asterisk. "The more we decode, the clearer it becomes. The beacon isn't just an artifact. It's a piece of ancient technology, something incredibly powerful. The aliens believe it holds the key to controlling a vast energy source." Cade frowned. "An energy source? What kind?" Levin shook her head. "We're still piecing that together, but it's like nothing we've ever seen before. It's almost cosmic in scale. If the aliens get their hands on it, they could use it to wipe out entire star systems." Cade's jaw tightened. "And they think it's in our system." Levin nodded. "That's what the data suggests. It's been hidden for millennia, but the aliens believe it's somewhere in the Sol system." Cade rubbed his chin, his mind racing. "Then we need to find it first. If the aliens come back and get their hands on it, we're finished." Levin's face was grim. "We're already scanning every planet and moon in the system, but the beacon could be anywhere. It's like searching for a needle in a cosmic haystack." Cade's voice was firm. We don't have a choice. We find it, or we lose everything. As the search for the beacon intensified, the tension across the Sol system grew. Every day, ships were dispatched to unexplored corners of the system, scanning for any sign of the ancient artifact. But time was running out. The search for the beacon had stretched on for months, and the tension was palpable throughout the Sol system. The human fleet remained vigilant, constantly patrolling for any sign of the alien invaders. But as the days passed, a foreboding silence settled over the system. The aliens hadn't returned yet, but Cade knew better than to assume they wouldn't. On the flagship Indomitable, Cade stood in the war room, surrounded by holographic displays of the system, each one showing search grids and patrol routes. Despite their best efforts, they had found no trace of the beacon. Dr. Levin entered the room, her expression tense. "We might have a lead." Cade turned to face her. "What did you find?" Levin pulled up a data set on the central display. "One of our deep space probes, scanning near the Kuiper Belt, picked up something. It's faint, but it matches the energy signatures from the alien wreckage. It's not the beacon, but it could be connected." Cade studied the data. Could it be a trap? The aliens might be trying to lure us out. Levin shook her head. "Possibly, but we don't have the luxury of ignoring it. If this lead takes us closer to the beacon, we need to investigate." Cade clenched his fists. He knew she was right, but the risk was enormous. If the aliens were laying a trap, sending a fleet to the Kuiper Belt could expose them to a devastating ambush. On the other hand, ignoring the signal could mean missing their only chance to find the beacon before the enemy. "Get a recon team out there," Cade ordered. "I want a full report on that signal. If there's anything there, we'll send the fleet." As Levin left to organize the mission, Cade turned back to the display, feeling the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Every day without the beacon was another day the aliens could return, stronger and more prepared. The recon team, led by Captain Area Locke, moved swiftly toward the edge of the system, their stealth ships hidden from any prying eyes. They reached the coordinates in the Kuiper Belt, where the signal had been detected, and began their scans. Locke's voice crackled over the comms. "Admiral, we found something. It's a derelict ship, unlike anything we've seen. It's massive, larger than the alien vessels we fought before. It's giving off faint energy signatures, like it's still active but dormant." Cade leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Any sign of life?" "None," Locke replied, "but the ship looks ancient. If I had to guess, this isn't one of their ships. It might even be older than them." Cade felt a chill run down his spine. An ancient ship. Out here in the depths of the Kuiper Belt? It couldn't be a coincidence. Proceed with caution. We need to know if this is connected to the beacon. Locke's team approached the ship, scanning its surface for any entry points. As they neared the hull, the ship seemed to stir, its system slowly coming back online. Panels lit up, and a low hum resonated through the void. "Sir," Locke's voice came over the comms again, this time more urgent. "We're getting movement. Something inside is activating." Before Cade could respond, the alien ship suddenly emitted a pulse of energy. It swept through the recon team's ships, temporarily disabling their systems. "Locke, pull back." Cade barked, but the damage was done. The recon ships struggled to regain control as the alien vessel powered up completely. Its massive form shifted, and it began to move, heading deeper into the system toward Earth. "They're coming back," Cade whispered to himself. "All ships, prepare for battle." The alien vessel moved through the Sol system with terrifying speed, bypassing the outer defenses and heading straight for Earth. Its sudden activation had thrown the human fleet into chaos, but Cade wasted no time. The fleet mobilized, every available ship moving to intercept the colossal ship before it reached the inner planets. In the war room of the Indomitable, Cade monitored the situation, issuing orders and coordinating the fleet's movements. The alien ship wasn't alone. As it moved, it began to emit signals, and soon more alien ships emerged from the void, smaller than the behemoth, but still deadly. "They've been waiting," Morales muttered. This was all part of their plan. Cade gritted his teeth. The trap had been sprung, but not in the way he had expected. The alien fleet, once thought to be defeated, had returned, and now they were making their final push. Admiral, Dr. Levin's voice interrupted his thoughts. I think I know what's happening. Cade turned to face her. What is it? Levin looked pale, but determined. That ship, they weren't just after the beacon. That ship is the beacon. It's not just an artifact. It's a living piece of technology designed to harness unimaginable power. When it activated, it began drawing energy from the entire system. If we don't stop it, it could tear the system apart. Cade's eyes widened. Are you saying it's a weapon? Levin nodded. In a sense, yes, but it's also more than that. It's like a key to something far larger. If the aliens take control of it, they could use it to unlock whatever ancient power it was designed to control. That's why they've come back in full force. Cade felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. They weren't just fighting for their survival anymore. They were fighting to prevent an ancient catastrophe from being unleashed. Then we destroy it, Cade said, his voice firm. No matter what it takes. The battle that followed was unlike any humanity had ever faced. The alien fleet swarmed through the Sol system, clashing with human forces in every sector. But the true threat was the massive alien ship, the beacon, that continued to move relentlessly toward Earth, drawing power from the planets and moons it passed. Cade led the charge, the Indomitable at the forefront of the battle. The human fleet threw everything they had at the beacon, but its shields were nearly impenetrable. Each hit from their weapons barely made a dent. We're not getting through, Morales shouted over the comms. It's too strong. Cade clenched his fists. There has to be a way. Focus on its energy source. If we can disrupt the power it's drawing, we might be able to take it down. As the fleet continued its desperate assault, Dr. Levin worked furiously with the science team, analyzing the beacon's energy patterns. Finally, she found a weakness. Admiral, the ship is drawing power from the gas giants. If we can sever that connection, it'll be vulnerable. Cade didn't hesitate. Send the coordinates to the fleet. All ships, target the energy links to Jupiter and Saturn. In a coordinated strike, the human ships fired on the invisible threads of energy connecting the beacon to the gas giants. The moment the links were severed, the beacon's shields flickered, and for the first time, it was exposed. Now, Cade shouted, all ships, fire everything. The human fleet unleashed its full fury, and this time, the beacon's hull buckled under the assault. Explosions rippled through its massive frame as its core destabilized. With a final cataclysmic blast, the beacon was destroyed, its ancient power extinguished. The alien fleet, now without their key weapon, retreated into the void, their invasion thwarted. As the wreckage of the battle drifted through space, Cade stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, staring at the spot where the beacon had been. They had won, but the cost had been high. We did it, Morales said quietly. We stopped them. Cade nodded, but his mind was already racing with new questions. The beacon was destroyed, but what had it been guarding? And more importantly, had they truly seen the last of the alien invaders? As the fleet began the long process of recovery, Cade knew one thing for certain. The mysteries of the beacon and the ancient forces it had been tied to were far from over. As the remnants of the battle faded into the distance, a profound silence enveloped the remnants of the starship Aegis ***. Commander Cade Harper stood on the bridge, staring into the depths of space where the once mighty beacon had stood. The destruction of the beacon, an ancient artifact that had been a symbol of hope and unity among the races of the galaxy, weighed heavily on his heart. While the alien fleet had retreated, the victory felt bittersweet. Cade glanced at the screen displaying the damage reports and personnel statuses. They had won this battle, but the cost had been high. Many had sacrificed everything, and the loss of the beacon meant that countless others would be at risk. The Seraphim were still unaccounted for, and the gravity of their predicament sank deeper within him. We need to assess the situation and determine what the aliens are planning next, Cade said, breaking the silence that had settled over the crew. Our primary goal is to secure our future, and we can't allow them to regroup and strike again. As the crew went about their tasks, Cade felt a sudden determination rise within him. He recalled the Seraphim's words before the battle had begun. They had mentioned a hidden knowledge, a legacy left behind by their ancestors that could change the course of the war. It was a prospect too tempting to ignore. He turned to Dr. Ilana Voss, who was monitoring the remaining Seraphim aboard the ship. Dr. Voss, can you gather any intel from the Seraphim? We need to find out what they know about this legacy. Ilana nodded, her expression one of focused determination. I will reach out to them. If there's a way to communicate, I will find it. With that, she began her work, utilizing the advanced communication technology developed during their collaboration with the Seraphim. As Ilana worked, Cade paced the bridge, his mind racing with possibilities. The Seraphim had shown him the interconnectedness of life across the galaxy. They had a unique understanding of existence that could provide insights into the very fabric of the universe. He wondered how that knowledge could be translated into a strategy that would turn the tide in their favor. Suddenly, Ilana called out, "Commander, I think I've established a connection." Her voice was filled with excitement as she turned to the main screen. A series of harmonic vibrations filled the room, resonating with a melodic frequency that seemed to awaken something deep within Cade. On the screen, an image began to materialize, one of the Seraphim, their form shimmering with a bioluminescent glow. "We are here," it spoke, its voice echoing in Cade's mind. "We are one with the aegis and the legacy of our people. You seek knowledge." Cade felt a rush of emotions as the Seraphim continued. Long ago, our ancestors faced a great threat. They discovered the power of unity, which transcended individual strength. In our darkest hour, they forged the beacon, channeling their collective energies to create a shield of protection. Ilana leaned forward, captivated. "Can we recreate this power? Can the knowledge of your ancestors help us now?" The Seraphim's form shifted, its glow intensifying. The legacy lies within the beacon's remnants. There is still energy coursing through it, even in its destruction. If you can harness it, the collective consciousness of our people can be restored. It can protect you and your kind. Cade exchanged glances with Ilana, a spark of hope igniting in their hearts. "How can we access this power?" Cade pressed, urgency in his tone. "The coordinates to the heart of the beacon are ingrained in our memories," the Seraphim replied. "You must retrieve them before the enemies come to claim the remnants. Time is of the essence." Without hesitation, Cade organized an away team. They would need to venture to the location where the beacon had once stood, now only a graveyard of shimmering debris. The Aegis would be their support, but the team had to work quickly and efficiently. They had no idea when the alien fleet would return, and failure was not an option. Ilana, Cade, and a small group of trusted officers boarded a shuttle, preparing for the daunting mission ahead. As they broke away from the Aegis, Cade felt the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. This was more than just a battle. This was a fight for survival, for unity, understanding, and the very essence of what it meant to be human. The shuttle raced through the remnants of the beacon, its once majestic glow now a faint flicker against the dark canvas of space. Cade's heart pounded as they neared the epicenter. "Ilana, can you guide us to the energy source?" he asked, his voice steady despite the chaos in his mind. She nodded, her fingers dancing over the controls. "The readings are fluctuating, but I can pinpoint the strongest signal. We need to be careful. The debris may have unstable energy." As they maneuvered through the wreckage, Cade's mind raced with thoughts of the future. What if they succeeded? What if they could harness the Seraphim's legacy to protect Earth and the galaxy from further threats? Suddenly, a warning alarm blared, and the shuttle shook violently. "We've triggered something," Ilana shouted, her eyes wide with fear. "Brace for impact." The shuttle spiraled, but Cade fought to regain control. With a surge of adrenaline, he stabilized the craft, bringing it back on course. The crew exchanged worried glances, but Cade's determination did not waver. They would not fail. As they landed amidst the debris, a haunting glow began to envelop them. "This is it," Cade whispered, awe filling his voice. "This is where it all began." The remnants of the beacon shimmered with energy, and Cade felt an undeniable connection. "We can do this," he said, rallying the crew. "Together, we can harness this power. They began their work, connecting the remnants and channeling their collective energies. Cade could feel the echoes of the Seraphim, their history pulsing through him, binding him to this moment. As the energy surged, Cade understood that they were not just fighting for survival. They were forging a new future, one where humanity and the Seraphim could stand united against any threat. With renewed hope and determination, Cade and his crew prepared to unleash the power of the legacy, knowing that this was just the beginning of an incredible journey, one that would change the fate of the galaxy forever. The galaxy lay stretched before Commander Cade Harper as he stood on the observation deck of the starship Aegis. The stars twinkled like diamonds against the deep expanse of space, a canvas of endless possibilities. It had been several months since the battle against the alien fleet, and since then, the remnants of the beacon had been transformed into something extraordinary. The rebirth of the beacon. Thanks to the knowledge and legacy of the Seraphim, Cade and his crew had successfully harnessed the energy from the beacon's remains. What had once been a symbol of division and loss was now a beacon of hope and unity. The newly rebuilt beacon shimmered with ethereal light, standing as a testament to collaboration between humans and Seraphim. With the beacon restored, peace had slowly returned to the galaxy. The Seraphim and humans worked hand in hand, sharing knowledge, cultures, and technologies, forging a bond that transcended the limitations of their former rivalries. The legacy of the Seraphim was not only about protection, it was about understanding and respecting the delicate balance of life across the cosmos. A gathering of allies. The Aegis had become a diplomatic vessel, serving as a platform for the diverse races of the galaxy to unite. Cade had organized a summit, inviting representatives from various civilizations to discuss their future together. As he looked out at the vastness of space, he recalled the Seraphim's teachings. Unity was strength, and together they could face any challenge that might arise. As the delegates gathered in the conference room, Cade felt a swell of pride. There were leaders from every corner of the galaxy, humans, Seraphim, and other races they had encountered in their journey. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement and anticipation. A message of hope. Cade stood at the head of the table, his heart racing with purpose. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady. "Today marks a new chapter for our galaxy. Together we have faced unimaginable challenges, and yet we stand united. The destruction of the beacon was not the end. It was merely the beginning of our journey together." He paused, scanning the faces of the gathered representatives. The legacy of the Seraphim has taught us that through cooperation, we can overcome any adversity. We have a chance to build a future that honors our differences while celebrating our shared values. The room erupted in applause, echoing the sentiments of hope and determination. Cade felt a rush of warmth. This was more than just a summit. It was a celebration of life, resilience, and the power of collaboration. A personal journey. After the meeting, Cade stepped outside to a balcony overlooking the stars. Yelena joined him, her eyes reflecting the light of the beacon. "You did well in there," she said, her voice soft yet confident. "You've brought us all together." Cade smiled, a mix of gratitude and humility washing over him. It was a team effort. We've all played a part in this transformation. He paused, looking out into the void. "I still remember the uncertainty we faced when we first arrived. I had no idea how we would survive." Yelena took his hand, grounding him in the present. "But we did. We not only survived, we thrived. Together. The future awaits." As Cade stood there, the weight of responsibility began to feel lighter. The galaxy had changed, he had changed. With each new alliance formed, each bond strengthened, he felt a sense of purpose that was deeper than mere survival. It was about fostering a community that spanned across the stars, one that would protect the fragile beauty of life. In that moment, he realized that they were not merely survivors of a battle. They were architects of a brighter future. The legacy of the Seraphim had sparked a fire within them all, a determination to explore, learn, and grow together. As he turned to Ilana, a vision of what lay ahead filled his mind. New worlds to discover, new allies to meet, and challenges that would test their unity. But Cade felt ready. They would face whatever came next with hope, courage, and an unwavering belief in the power of connection. With the beacon shining brightly behind them, Cade and Ilana stepped forward into the future, ready to embark on a new adventure, one that would continue to illuminate the path toward understanding and harmony among the stars.